all ages. Welcome to episode 252. No, it's still 251 of the Crypto
251A or B.
251A. So you're probably listening to this recording going, what are these guys talking about? We were about 10 minutes into the show, and Restream decided to basically stop. So not sure why, but it just stopped in the middle of this. So we're redoing it. So I'm not going to go through all the pleasantries again. We'll just say that Task is awesome. Django is here. Everyone's questions, amazing. Everyone thought it was the AMA apparently because we have 63 or 64 questions. Definitely some AMA related questions, not necessarily Cryptomaniacs related questions, but we'll dive right back into it. We're not going to skip a beat. You guys showed up big tonight, so we want to get into your questions right away. Tass, that sound like a plan, man?
Yep.
Perfect. Here we go. Sag probably wants to know who the guest is today. It's us, man. It's us. It's Task and Django for your listening pleasure, your viewing pleasure, maybe. I don't know. Listening, though, for sure. Anderson says, gonna miss the live as usual. I'm gonna send my questions. Is John G. Olson not the owner of the CTP community? Thought he was a creator. I'm the co-owner of it. I am the founder of CTP from like almost 15 years ago. Made the move over to Hive and been building since. But Eliana Gomez is my partner with CTP and everything that we're building, but it is definitely the community that owns it. We just show up and smile, shake hands, and kiss babies. That's what we do. So it's a very political answer, I know. Here's a good question. Anderson follows that one up with, was there any community on Steam that you were active in that didn't make the transition over? And for me, it was D-Daily. And D-Daily was this video creation community that was really tied to DTube. I guess they didn't make the transition just because everyone kind of morphed over to 3Speak and DTube kind of disappeared. But D-Daily, man, some of the guys I met at D-Daily I still talk to constantly, just some of the best guys I've ever met online. Really, really good dudes. But I don't know, Task, was there any communities from Steam that you wanted to see brought over?
Nope.
Just Hive. Or not Hive, excuse me, just Leo.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And he also says that he knows that the fork of Hive called Blurt, which their USP was that they removed downvotes, but they have a transaction fee. Is there any other forks of Hive? I can't think of any.
Well, there was Golios. I mean, there's
Right.
Who knows? There could be others, but nothing that's been any success, and certainly nothing that's upgraded since. I mean, you think of what Block Trades and Howu and those teams have done since the original fork. I mean, nobody's coming close to that.
Yeah. Don't forget whale shares. Remember whale shares?
Whale shares, there was no one. You're right.
That's an oldie but goodie. Does any one of you think that you can sustain your life through Hive earnings? Maybe you already do. I'm curious about how many people can live off of Hive. I mean, that's my goal. That's been my goal since day one that I got onto the blockchain. For me, it was always, how can I make a living from this? My Hive goals each and every Saturday night when I talk about trying to earn 100 Hive a day. I mean, my vision is that 100 Hive is going to be worth $500 a day. Lots of people can live off of $500 a day. You can live pretty good off of $500 a day. So yeah, I don't currently, obviously, sitting in a truck in a parking lot here. I don't make a living off of Hive, but that's my goal. I think that should be the goal for anyone who wants to take this blockchain serious. I don't know, Tass, you living off this yet?
I am, but well, I'm living off other assets, but it's not to make a living, in my opinion. It's to grow wealth, and this is where people, average people look at income. Wealthy, they measure everything by net worth. So Web3 is about asset acquisition. You accumulate assets, and that gives you the opportunity to sustain yourself financially off this stuff and keep growing. And certainly a bear market hurts, but That's where the ability to generate a return through asset accumulation or through cash flow and then turn that into other assets. When those assets do appreciate, you find yourself in a very lucrative position where, paying your bills is not an issue off of the yield or the return you're getting on your assets. That's what it comes down to. And that's the difference between, I mean, that's why an Elon Musk can make a salary of, I don't even know if he takes a salary, but if he does, it's minimal. He has very little salary. And for the hours he works, it's probably below minimum wage. But he's worth, 240 billion or whatever the hell he's worth. Larry Ellison lost 20 billion the yesterday or today with the drop in Oracle stock. I mean, it's not affecting his life whatsoever. That's how you do it, and that's the difference.
I think what's really unique too about Hive, I I did my video last night for my trucking adventures, and I was talking about how I met up with one of my really good friends that I grew up with, and I hadn't seen him in decades. And we were talking, and of course, when you meet up with your friends, it's the quiet, oh, what do you do for a living? This. What have you been doing? And the topic of crypto came up, and he was investor in Bitcoin, and I use investor. He basically just dabbled in it, not really any kind of. But he was. I was trying to break it down for him. I was like, this is how you earn Bitcoin. You can either sell a product, or you can buy it, and that's it. And I tried to break down to him like what you can do with Hive and how powerful Hive can be, because you can earn it, you can stake it, you can compound it, you can flip it, you can invest in different tokens on it. There's so many different ways. So I think going back to the question about can we make a living on it, I totally agree with you. I think, it is wealth creation for the future. And I'm definitely not looking at, 28 cents or whatever Hive right now going, oh, I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow. But the groundwork is there for this stuff to really, really, really play a big part in our lives. And I'm hoping sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it all comes down to the standard of living, and obviously this is why Hive is starting to take off in Venezuela and Ghana and Cuba and some of those areas, because the access to economic means is not as great as it is, let's say, in San Francisco or London or Tokyo. So you need a lot higher numbers and bigger numbers in those areas. So but ultimately, I think it'll spread.
Yeah, and it, like Eliana was saying, it's already helped a lot of people, and continues to help people. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. Cal wants to know. I don't see. Cal just asked the questions. I don't know if he remembers asking this, because I'm pretty sure he asked this last week. But he wanted to know if you and I were going to be at Hive Fest. And
No and no. Next.
No. Yeah, next. Will we be getting the iPhone 15?
No.
I probably will, but I never buy iPhones the first year they come out, because it's insanity. And I just got a new iPhone last year, so maybe I'll get the 15 in like 2 years from now. I never buy. I used to be a fanboy where a new iPhone came out, I bought it. Now it's like I'll just wait for the price to go way down and then just get it on a cell phone plan where I don't have to pay for it out of pocket. So. In a previous episode, Taskmaster ranted a bit about his dad, I think, when he talked about correlations between stocks and oil. Why do we humans try to find correlations between things where there might not be any?
Well, when it comes to markets, I can't speak to this in a esoteric or in a humanity sense. That's far beyond my capability. But when it comes to markets, we can't accept the basic answer. The market went down because more sellers than buyers, and the market went up because of more buyers than sellers. And that doesn't get viewers on CNBC or Bloomberg or get clicks. So you have all these quote unquote experts up there telling us why the market's going up or down. And the reason is they have no fucking clue, and nobody really does. It's, and the point I was making in that rant is he was parroting what, they were saying on the financial media. And it's like, why suddenly that day our core stocks and oil correlated when for 6 months they were going in opposite directions? The answer is it was total bullshit. Um, so that's really why we do that as humanity. I don't know. We just can't accept the answer. We don't know. Other than the fact that simple is the obvious, the obvious, and simple is the answer. More buyers than sellers. What motivated them? Who the hell knows?
Yep, good point. Is Taskmaster the number one creator on ThreeSpeak as well as Threads? 2,500 videos is actually crazy impressive, and he shows the rest of the community how it's supposed to be done. Are you the number one? I'm pretty sure you'd be the number one creator on ThreeSpeak.
I would say I probably have more videos up there than anybody, although they're with the shorts. I don't do any shorts.
Right.
So I haven't paid attention. So I would think that probably I posted more videos on there than anybody. Just a guess, but I don't know for certain. I've never seen any stats, and there may be some people throwing up a shitload of shorts. Although I tend to think not the way the way ThreeSpeak works and the way Hive works. Since it's a blog post, I would tend to figure it isn't. But that's where I think Leo Shorts is going to be a gold mine, is because that will be at the comment level through Leo. So I think that's a great thing when that comes out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I got to get into shorts more. I maybe I haven't jumped into it because I'm not really a TikTok or a video Instagram person. That's the big thing for me. Like, if I ever did videos, I did longer videos, upload these things. So I'm not that funny. And I think you need to be funny for shorts.
Or, well, I mean, you could. I mean, not all shorts are funny. I mean, you can throw together some quick stuff on, a quick update on the market, or a quick update on your travels, or a quick update on, your son or whatever.
Right.
A lot of things you can do.
That's a good point. He follows this one up with, if someone would want to know how to code on Hive and help the CTP community, what steps should one take? Asking for a friend. Get in touch with me or Eliana. That's the steps to take. Eliana, do you see that question? Should we reach out, or should they reach out to us? Yes, please do. Send us a note. Say hi. There's a lot of online tutorials and online training courses you can take to learn coding. Lots of step-by-step stuff. W3 Schools was the one years ago that was like really popular, but that's probably ancient and archaic by now. But you just got to Google "learn to code" and you'll find 1,000,001 options out there. Some of it's paid, some of it's free, but there's loads of information. I mean, Blaine was self-taught, man. I mean, he never went to school for that stuff. My first business partner taught himself to code when he was a teenager. A lot of this stuff you don't go to school for. You learn it by doing, and you can learn it online. So, and just so you guys know, Taskmaster is going to be the next developer on Hive. He's learning to code right now.
If I'm the next developer on Hive, Hive's in trouble.
We're screwed. Yeah, beautiful. Perfect. Would this is from Casper Moeller 89. Would a higher Hive APY increase the value of Hive? The demand would probably increase, but I'm not sure if it would actually increase the value, as there would come more new coins and maybe equal out supply demand. No, I think it's completely bogus. I think that doesn't touch the price of Hive. You know what touches the price of Hive? Apps. That's what will make Hive go up. Apps will make. It's not the yield. It's not the percent. It's not the supply. No one gives a like. What's the supply of Ethereum? Do you know? What's the supply of all the layer 2s on Ethereum? It doesn't matter. It's people like apps. If you have an app built on Hive that has 1 million people, guess what happens to supply and demand? A whole lot of demand, not a lot of supply. So apps are the answer for any price-related question. Apps. Build more apps on Hive. Price will follow. Thanks for listening to my rant.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is going back to the same nonsense. It's understand what Hive is. Hive, first off, it doesn't increase the supply because the APY on Hive does not come out where they're going to change the total inflation. Whatever the inflation is coded in, where like 6.75, that's what it is. The second thing is Hive is the spec token. It's not a yield token. So talking about APY on Hive is pretty much stupid because you can say, hey, let's raise the APY. Okay, let's raise it to 10%. What happens if Hive goes down to 20 cents? Oh shit, you just lost like 30% on the price, but at least I'm getting, it fluctuates too much. People buy Hive. If they're not buying it because they need the resource credits and they don't, they're buying Hive because it's 28 cents and they believe it's going to be $1 or $2 or $3. That's why they buy Hive. They don't buy Hive because it's paying 3.1%. Hey, let's get that up to 4%. No, that's not why people buy Hive.
Yeah, completely agree. Build on the blockchain. This is interesting. Not a question, just a statement. They should have an event between Cal and the owner of Ecency to settle once for all who is the greatest on Hive. I put in always bet on Leo. Always.
Well, I mean, they're not really in competition. They do different things, and Leo's building and built Leo Cash, and it does things that nobody else can do. So, uh, my view is you end up getting into a situation, and I mean, everybody knows I invest in Tesla. I've watched Tesla for a lot of years. I've watched technology long before I invested in the company. Elon Musk doesn't give a shit what any of these other car companies are doing. He doesn't give a rat's ass. He never gave a rat's ass because he was going to lap the field based upon what him and his team designed. So he assembled the best team and said, "We're just going to go kick ass." And we'll make all our patents open and anybody can use our stuff and try to keep pace, and they haven't. So when you get into technology and you want to like sit there and try to make it like a competition, it isn't a competition. And that's why Facebook doesn't have any rivals. Twitter really didn't have any rivals. Apple doesn't really have any rivals. I mean, Apple and Samsung go at it, but you look at the bulk of the profits in the mobile industry, Apple dominates. They have like 80% of the profits. So Netflix, nobody's touching them in streaming. Technology gets to be a winner take most. And there's one way to get there: outbuild everybody else. So.
Yep. Yeah, there's a reason why people always say build. There's a reason why. Uh, what news do you guys think Cal and the team will drop at Hive Fest? Feels like
No
they're
clue.
saving up for the
No
amazing show
clue.
over there. Yeah, no
No clue.
insider secrets. And if Tass knows, I think he's sworn to secrecy. So I
No,
just
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I only go by based upon the AMAs. It's
yeah.
so I can only guess. They want to have Leo shorts out by then. Will they? Will they not? I don't know. The marketing plan has been thrown out there to whatever degrees. I saw a thread that the light paper is being rewritten. So I mean, I don't know if they have anything new that they're going to announce. I have no idea.
Yeah. No, neither do I. Nothing. Just it's interesting. What can we do as a community against the new spamming accounts that start to pop up on Threads? Some Open Leo team will do something. I think the mute button, that will be magical. That will be magic sauce. That will help a lot of people. I will mute sadly, but see, this is the thing. 90% of the stuff I see on Threads, I have no interest in, but someone does, and someone. So spam is one thing. Like I don't know. Have you seen a lot of spam? I haven't. Just I've seen
Well,
like
with
two.
the Zealy, there's been a lot of spam, but they're going to get zapped anyway. They're going to get kicked out. They have safeguards in place that they're not going to get rewarded. But again, if you don't like it, click on the follow feed. There, threads, go right to the top of threads. You can click on follow and you can click on the threads. You can go through the threads of those you follow. So, I don't know why people are sitting there saying that, oh, everything's needed for the front for the first page or the main page. It's like, that's why there's a following. Follow who you want and engage in who you want, just like on Twitter or X or whatever the hell they call it.
Right. That's a good point. I think the big thing is that there's the population isn't there yet.
Well, of course not. But it gives you a chance to follow more people. Follow Sad Cries. Follow, Nifty. Follow people you're not following who are on there regularly. Follow me. I'll fill up your thread, your thread feed. I mean, it's just there's plenty. The Wealth West, he's on there all the time. Follow him. I mean, you can fill up your feed. And then you won't see that garbage.
That's a good point. Have you tried the first-person shooter game that's tied to Hive? I'm assuming that's CyberX. That's what he's talking about. I've never tried it.
No, I haven't tried it.
Yeah, haven't tried it. Thank you for all those questions. Focus Snow. How did the team end up? The name for the rebrand. Has that been
Nope.
That question actually came up a bit. I bet you that's going to be a reveal at Hive Fest. I almost guarantee that'll probably be.
I'm surprised it hasn't been announced yet, but nope, yeah. It hasn't been announced to my knowledge. Yeah. So it's still Leo as far as I know. That's what I call it. I don't know what.
When will more quests be available for the adoption campaign? No idea. I haven't even taken part.
No idea. What do you think this is, an AMA?
I think they do think it's an AMA because there's a lot of AMA type questions here.
I mean, read.
Yeah. Hello, AMA. Good evening, not AMA. How much was Leo's all-time high, and how much would it require for us to reach similar levels again in the next bull market? I think it was, what was it, like $1? Wasn't Leo like $1?
Yeah, or it was at $1, maybe a little higher. It just take like the same thing. It'd take more buyers than sellers.
I was about to say it's going to take more buyers than sellers, and that usually happens in a bull market.
That happens in a bull market, or it happens when you get a lot of people who start to see the excitement. The ad revenue, some of those things are great ideas because that kicks off a FOMO when, all of a sudden John Go's getting a payout, or I'm getting a payout, or Wealth West is getting a payout for stuff we've done on Leo, and other people are not. And if the payout's based upon your holding of Leo, well, there's your incentive. Go load up on some Leo power.
Right. Well, yeah, for me, I mean, again, I do the dollar cost averaging, but I'm also delegating the Leo voter. So I get my 105, 115 Leo each and every day because of that. I know FOMO is coming once that's released, and that's Focus Snow wants to know when are Leo ads coming. When they do come, because we have no insider trading inside secrets to that. But when it does come, the FOMO will be real. So right now, I can buy Leo for 6 cents a pop, give or take, right? Who knows what? It's 6, 7 cents, whatever. I can see it be 60, 70 cents each when the FOMO starts. Because it's going to start.
Good, especially since, we have an LPUD coming up in a couple of days. I think there's a very high stake rate. I don't know the percentage. I'd have to look it up or find it, but I think there's over a 70% stake rate. So the float isn't that great out there. So yeah, you could see Leo going from 6 cents to 25 cents pretty easily, and it won't take all that much because if some FOMO kicks off, and I think it would be, I mean, I don't know what stages, but I think it's when that first Leo ad distribution takes place and people are on thread saying, I got 5 Leo, or I got 3 Leo, or I got 0.2 Leo, or I got 10 Leo, or I got 100 Leo, or whatever you get. People are going to be like, how'd you get that? Well, I just hold Leo.
That's a great marketing campaign. You could do that right now. So Nomad Eric, if you're listening, is a great idea. When that starts, people should start screenshotting and come up with a little hashtag to put onto traditional social media promoting their earning by staking this. And look how much, just like you said, look how much I got, and like make it all like a graphic, a real funky graphic. Like, this is how much I got for staking Leo, and just have some fun.
You don't even need it with the outside. You get the people in Leo who get excited. The float's just not that big. I mean, if you're talking 15 million and you got 70% staked, you're talking about 4.5 million out in floating around. That's not a lot. You get half a million, 750,000, and we got an LPUD, so there'll probably be, I don't know, historically there's like 200,000 added every LPUD. So you're probably going to triple or quadruple that with the FOMO from that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Here's a cool question. What platform do you guys prefer listening on? Spotify or Fountain? I would listen to 3Speak, but I don't think they have the option to listen while the phone is closed. Well, they have that option that they were talking about. Dan and Starkers last week on episode 250 were mentioning the app and how you can take the RSS feed and literally put it into Apple Podcasts. So when I listen to podcasts, I usually listen on Apple Podcasts. That's where I listen. So that's the option. You can take the RSS feed from 3Speak and put it right into Apple Podcasts, which is pretty cool. So, but I listen to all my podcasts on Apple Podcasts.
I don't listen to podcasts. I make.
No, look at you creator, you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, either I listen to live, or if it's a replay, I just go to YouTube. I mean, that's where when people feed it, or it's like if I miss a CTT, that'll be on Twitter Spaces if I don't see the 3Speak video.
Yeah, good point. Should we market Hive differently to different parts of the world? Meaning from rich to poor countries can have different benefits from Hive and its ecosystem. I think marketing Hive is silly. I think it's fool's gold, what's the word I'm looking for? A fool's errand. We got to stop thinking like that. But
yeah, it's
like beating a dead horse. I mean,
it's stupid.
It's insanity. It's like you always say, Task. It's like Amazon walking around going, hey, you guys should buy Amazon. No, actually, you should buy. No, or sorry, Netflix going, hey, you should buy Amazon. Why? Because Amazon hosts all our videos. Do they do that, or does Netflix go, come get a Netflix subscription?
Like, yeah, it's nobody gives a shit where the video is stored. Nobody gives a shit where the data is stored. That's what Hive is. It's a database. Nobody gives a crap where it's stored. We think because, we're Hivians or Hivers or whatever, it's something special. Nobody gives a shit. People, and we need to understand this. This is the attention economy. People are going to spend time with shit that interests them. What interests people? Videos, threading, microblogging, games, whatever it is, that's what you promote. And Splinterlands is the one successful thing that we've had. And did it promote Hive? No, it promoted Splinterlands. It appealed to Splinterlands. Now,
dude, there's like a little tiny snippet in the white paper that said, we're built on the Hive blockchain. You're getting a Hive account. That's it. They promoted Splinterlands.
And that was it. And some people were pissed off that they didn't do it. And maybe they could have done a little more cross-pollination, but at the end, it doesn't matter. They got people onto Hive because they needed a Hive account to play Splinterlands. And that's what those people were interested in doing. So this idea of promote Hive, and then now, I mean, you could promote HBD in these areas, but you can't promote it anyway. It has to be picked up like it was in Sucre, like it was in Ghana. The local people run with it. Because you know what? Hodgkinson and Cardano hasn't done shit. Jack Dorsey hasn't done shit promoting Web3 and promoting cryptocurrency in these areas. They can't do it. You have to have local people who pick it up, see the value, build, there's that word again, build it themselves. And we see that with Amundo. He's been on 2 or 3 times. We see it in Ghana. These are the people going out. Hive Cuba is going at it in Cuba and the representation there. Hopefully we'll get stuff in Argentina. Hopefully Brazil has a nice community forming and they keep spreading out. That's what it's going to take, Yep,
absolutely. Herculean says, what will be done about poor liquidity on Leodex? So I'm guessing that's liquidity to get the Hive swap. So let me tell you from someone who owned a swap service with HivePay, created it, self-funded it. You're not making any money providing that service. like it's at 0.2%. That's what we're 0.2% we were charging. You're not making anything in that. So the only way that we got more liquidity was we funded it ourselves. So there was only about 2,000 Hive that you could swap back and forth in the pot. And then we took the percentage that we made from the swaps and put it in, and it only went up maybe 100 or 200 Hive for the 6 months or whatever that we owned it, or a year or whatever. It was the only way that you get more liquidity is more trades, but that, is dumping in and out, and you got to have why did Hive Engine have such a big bank? Because who owns Hive Engine? Splinterlands. Splinterlands has enormous buckets of crypto, so they have high liquidity there, and you can do the swaps a lot easier on Hive Engine because they have a funding source. Leodex's funding source is just from the swaps. So personally, just from someone who owned a swap service, you're not making any money owning a swapping service. So the only way you grow the liquidity is by someone doing a lot more trades for the liquidity or funding it yourself.
So the answer, go use Hive Engine. If the liquidity's not there, go use Hive Engine.
Yep. What proposals are you guys backing? I just want to mention that Brian of London proposal should get funded. Yes, I'm definitely supporting Brian of London. I'm supporting Leo Finance.
I mean, you can go look at what we support. I mean,
it's all on my blogs.
It's all there. I mean, Brian, we've supported Brian from the get-go with his projects. We've had him on a lot of times, and I vote for him. John votes for him, but we don't control where the return proposal and that stuff is.
Yeah. I mean, I support a lot of stuff on Hive Engine. Speak Network. I'm just scrolling here looking. Disregard Fiat with Honeycomb. ActiFit I support. Keychain Development I support. Arcane's Hive Authentication Service I support. Leo Finance I support. Brian of London I support. Hive Buzz I support. So you can definitely check, but we like guys that come to the show. That's who we support. How many hours in a day does Taskmaster have to be able just to produce each and every day? You know what he has? He has
like everybody else.
1,440 minutes. That's what he has. So it's what we choose to do with that. Like, for example, I'm just going to use me as an example. I'm sitting on a hill at a truck stop, pulled over. I decided out of the 1,440 minutes, I was going to allocate 60 to 80 minutes of my day to make sure I do this podcast. So I get 1,440 minutes a day, 24 hours a day. What am I going to choose to do with that? So that's how many hours you have, whatever you choose to allocate to whatever you're doing. Buy our stuff. Why didn't Cal do the AMA today? Cal's
traveling to Las Vegas.
Isn't he? Yeah, Cal's everywhere, man.
Yeah, I think I don't know when Vegas kicks off, but he was traveling today to Vegas, and I think Cat was too. So they're both going to Vegas.
Nice. What will happen if Leo's value equals or surpasses that of Hive in the near future?
So it won't surpass the value. There's no
liquidity for or the trading volume is nowhere near.
No, fucking people, and we're going to see this if the price of Leo goes up. Oh, Leo's worth more than Hive. No, you fucking idiot. It may have a higher per token price, but look at the difference in distribution. Look at the market cap. That's like saying, oh, well, company ABC is higher than Apple. Yeah, well, okay, Apple's at 120, company ABC's at 150, but Apple has 6 billion shares out there. Company ABC has 150 million. So you look at the market cap of Hive, the market cap of Hive is still over $100 million. Leo gets to 30 cents, it's still $5 million market cap. It's like 5% of Hive. But everybody say, oh, it's 33 cents versus 28. It's worth more than Hive. No, it's not. Stop being stupid.
And that was brought to you by Taskmaster 4450.
I mean, it really, and we saw it last time that hot Leo jumped up and everybody, and that feeds into, oh, Leo versus Hive, which is moronic to begin with. But it's like, it's not 15 million versus like 375 million token distributions. That means that to be equal, Leo is going to have to, what's 375 divided by 15? Leo's got to have like 20 times the market cap, the per price to have, per unit price to have the market cap or whatever that equals. You know, it's not going to happen. I mean, it could happen eventually at some point, but not likely, because the more success Leo has, the more it ultimately feeds into Hive.
Yep.
So if Leo gets 1 billion users, guess what? All those people need resource credits. Where are they coming from?
Got a truck pulling up beside me here, and he's not having a good time driving on this dirt road. Anyways, John Go, am I farming crops? And if so, what's possible to grow in the polar region you live in? Listen, okay, the Canadian jokes, that's fine. We grow everything. What did we harvest this year? Corn, potatoes, carrots, cucumber, zucchini, pumpkin, squash, same thing. Onions, tomatoes, raspberries, blueberries, you name it. We're good. We're good. Yes, we farm. How's your day at work today? Love that question. It's great. It's fantastic. Thanks for coming. What did you eat for breakfast today? I love these questions. These are fantastic questions. God help me. What do you guys think ActiveIt should do to improve the product? I know it'd be more interactive, like races, athletic challenges between users, more gamification. Yes, augmented reality would be fantastic. Some type of Pokemon Go thing.
Cool. Yeah,
dude, I would love to see that. The gamification of exercising is like the no-brainer of no-brainers.
Mm-hmm.
Quests. You get to a certain quest, you unlock this. You got to move your butt. Get to this. Go GPS it. They're like maps, and you got to find certain things, just like Pokemon Go. Like no-brainer stuff. Like this is like, and I actually mentioned that to McFarhat like last year when we had him on the show. I asked him, and they said they were developing things like that. So I hope so, because I use ActiveIt every single day. So, but that's what would set it to another level for sure. Must be lonely at the top for Taskmaster, but who do you guys think can become the next Taskmaster?
Anyone.
Jay Fang everywhere, but he's not around on Threads. Yeah, he posts every now and again. Jay Fang posts every now and again. Yeah, anyone could be Task. I mean, Task, but see, this is the thing. Task is focused and doesn't play the day-to-day game. He's playing the long game. Sorry, I'm giving you a little bit of props here, man. That's the mentality. Sadly, 90% of the people out there don't have that mentality. They have the, okay, I did some work, I want to get paid. Task is, okay, I did some work, I'm going to keep doing work, and I'm not worried about what I'm getting because my goal is down the road. That's the mentality you got to have here. And that's tough to find on this blockchain. So.
I'm thinking of doing a series, and I'm serious about this, a series of videos called Taskmaster's Guide to Success. And the reason why I bring that up now with what was just asked is the answer is 95% of the people have no prayer. And it has nothing to do with me. It's simply because not only of what Django just said, but they lack the discipline. They lack the ability to be consistent. They lack the drive. They have no inspiration, and they have no larger reason, overriding reason to do stuff. And I'll give you an example. I know for a fact, because he said it, block trades does not do everything he's doing for Hive and the coding of the base chain because he's looking to make money off of it. He's not driven by the money. He has openly stated he has more money than he ever thought he would. Now, obviously, you look at his wallets. If Hive goes to $5 or $6, he's going to benefit financially greatly. And I don't think he would deny that. He couldn't deny that. But that's not what drives him. That's not what motivates him. That's not why he gets up every morning and does whatever he does every morning. And that's not why he gets on the calls with his team. And notice how there's no proposal to fund the block trades team. Hole gets funded out of DHF, but block trades funds it himself. So you have to keep in mind that the largest successes in life, Elon Musk isn't doing what he's doing because he was hoping to get another 100 billion in net worth. Jeff Bezos didn't do what he did because he wanted to end up with $200 billion or whatever he has. These people start stuff and take on stuff for other reasons. And that's why they work 70, 80, 90, 100 hours a week. And they do it often without a salary. You have to have that. And very few people I've seen on Hive or in any walk of life have that viewpoint. And the opportunities are here. Cal, we mentioned him. Cal is one of those with that approach. Now, he doesn't do it necessarily from the content creation side, but he has that with Build in Leo. Dan and Starkers have that. Again, Starkers admits he's not a content creator. Dan does it sporadically, but they are looking at building things. And that's where entrepreneurialism, that's where building, that's where success, those people who go to the gym and work out at a major level to a competitive level, they're not doing it for the same reason that you and I go to the gym for. They have an overwhelming drive that gets them into the gym 2 or 3 times a day, and that has them eating, skipping the pizzas and eating, oatmeal and mega protein and all that other stuff. That's what it takes. And, I know John Go's an NFL fan. It's NFL season. What those players go through to get ready for the rigors of a 16 or 17 game NFL season, and same with the college guys, it's not just because, I'm doing this to make big money. That's not going to get them into the gym every day. It's not going to get them to do what needs to be done. And if you look at anybody who's wildly successful, it's the money is not going to be the motivator. And that's the failure of Hive is, I didn't make $20 on my first post, so I'm leaving. It's a scam.
Right.
Well,
yep. Good point. Could an adult not safe for work community on Hive help the community grow, or doesn't that bring in any real users?
Well, it depends on what it is. It depends on how it's structured. But obviously, the not safe for work community is huge. So to overlook it, especially with the numbers of Hive right now, Deep Porn had a somewhat good idea, but they had a terrible plan. And I don't know what the behind the scenes issues were. Maybe they didn't have the money, maybe they didn't have developers, whatever. But you just look at the numbers. The numbers are there. And every new technology, or not every, but most new technologies, especially in the last 40 years, porn and adult content has tended to be part of the early adoption. And you probably could make a case help drive the adoption of that technology. Webcams became popular by, I'll call them models, whatever you want to call them. that was really the first major user of the webcam.
Good point. Pepe Token wants to know, what do you think about some whale dumping a ton of Pepe this week? If this matters to cover in respect to the more important, less frog-like things. But whales dumps in many places at times. I know nothing about Pepe. I know nothing about meme coins. I know nothing about Dogecoin anymore. I have no idea. I'm very sheltered.
I didn't know a whale dropped it, and if a whale drops it, that means a whale sold. I mean, it's people again try to read into what's going. Oh, this whale dropped it.
Correlation, yeah, right.
Yeah. There could be a million reasons why the whale dumped. Who knows?
Yeah.
And if a whale dumped, that I think would be ultimately a good thing for the token distribution. I mean, people get pissed off when the whales have all the tokens, but then when the whale dumps it, everybody gets upset. It's like, where the hell's the logic in that? If a whale's dumping and a bunch of other people are buying it, isn't that giving you a stronger token base?
Distribution, right?
Yeah.
John Timms wants to know, did you manage to answer every question in the show? This has got to be a record. Yeah, no, I think we're about halfway through and we got 14 minutes left, so we're probably not going to get through all of them. But we can stack them for Thursday. Yeah, see, lots of AMA stuff. There's a lot of this stuff. Did anyone do an NFL Threadcast on Sunday? I don't really follow the NFL. Just wondering how many replies there was to it. I don't know. Was there?
I think Jimmy started one, but nobody got involved. And again, it just shows people talk a good game, but that again, going back to the question, who's going to come after me? It's again, most people talk a good game. How come people didn't set up a Threadcast? There's a lot of NFL fans.
Yep.
Did they even think about it? Nope. A lot of EPL fans. EPL started, I think, mid-August. Haven't seen many of those threads. I mean, Sad Cry is the one who is usually stuck setting them up, and it's just SOS, same old shit.
Yep. He also follows it up with, who do you think will win the Super Bowl? And he said, my pick is the Buffalo Bills, with a bunch of laughs after that because the Buffalo Bills pooped the bed last night on Monday Night Football. We're just going to pass this question task because your Giants did just as well as my Bills did this week.
I would say at least the Bills were in the game. The Giants did
points.
The Giants did. It's going to take the Giants at like 3 victories to get to points against and points scored to be even. Yeah. So
I'm so done with football until Sunday. Nifty wants to know, this is a riddle. How do my feet smell if they don't have noses? Ladies and gentlemen, Nifty.
I mean, he's got a valid point. I mean, we have to give him credit on the insight there.
Yeah.
Hard to argue with that logic.
Tokenizes up wants to know, because Aaron Rodgers blew out his Achilles yesterday. So is he done? Oops. Is he done? Done? You think?
I mean, Achilles is tough to come back from, and then to be 40 years old playing quarterback in the NFL after blowing out your Achilles. I mean, I don't know if he's done, but it's very, very hard to come back from that the cards are stacked against him. But, that Hall of Famers, guys like that are driven. That's where I said the guy has all the money. He doesn't need to come back for the money. He's got, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he still wants to play because he doesn't want to go out on a 4-play season where he blew out his Achilles, he's going to do everything in his power, work his ass off, and be driven to get back. I mean, and that's the difference between Hall of Fame players and, most also rans who this would be the end of their career. Yeah. Now, can he overcome those odds? Who knows? I mean, there's physical limitations for everybody, but
it sucks, man. I mean, I as much as I can't stand the Jets, it was cool to see the hype, because a healthy New York team, both both New York teams is good for the NFL. I believe that in football. I believe a healthy LA and New York teams in basketball is good for the league. I think a healthy,
Well,
yeah,
in basketball, that hasn't
yeah, I
been
know that hasn't happened
time
since
from New
John
York.
Starks and Patrick Ewing.
Yeah. Well, unless you count Brooklyn, but they even shit the bed.
Yeah,
The
well,
trio there.
this is pretty cool. Eric actually put this about 44 minutes ago. We are currently sitting at almost a record amount of monthly users with still 18 days to go. The question is, how many do you think will finish the month, and how many do you think are real users? Oh, dude, I mean, you would have that.
What I've seen with Zealy, he's going by account. I would say you probably divide that, the new people by at least in half, because that's how many spam accounts there are. And I would say by the end of the month you're going to be down a whole bunch. I really don't expect much out of these Zealys. Maybe I'll be surprised, and it's possible because I'm certainly not an expert in Zealy. I don't know how this stuff operates, but my presumption is Threads might have a little bump overall from it, but I think we're going to still be somewhere around the same level after all this is done, as compared to where we were before. Now, this is a little different in terms of it being extended. Um, the awareness could help, but at the end, ultimately, it always comes down to that old marketing adage, John. Yeah, or I guess it would be more. Well, I guess it is marketing, but it takes 7 contacts with somebody before they even remember your name. Not before they buy your product, but before they even remember your name. And so there may be some who find Threads and get really excited about it and start delving into it more, and those are going to be the keepers. The vast percentage of these people are drive-by. They just want the rewards. They're just click and take. They want to extract. They're not going to give anything, and you can see this by the way they engage with their approach of using ChatGPT to put up what resource credits are and all this other stuff. And so, the big thing is, to me, test out the system. We can keep maybe hopefully pushing the Threads up on a daily basis and get to 25, 30, 35, maybe 40,000 threads on in a day. I mean, page views. And at least then Cal and the team can look at that and say, okay, we can handle this volume. We can get a lot more threads going. We can get a lot more activity. A certain percentage, yes, they will be keepers. They will be strong people for Hive or Leo. But the vast percentage look at the last Zealy campaign. These were people on Hive, and what they do, they split.
Yeah, I don't know what it's. I think it will change though. You're right, and we mentioned this earlier. I think once those payouts start coming for the ad revenue, I think that will entice people to stick around. So, what would be really sexy, and I'm sure Eric is planning this. To have a Zealy campaign as soon as the ad revenue is live, because that would get people really excited using Threads, doing that little idea about, hey, look at all the payouts I got today. Like that would really hype things up and hook people to stick around. So I think a lot of the sticking aroundness comes with fulfillment of the plans. I think that what will help for sure. Because you're not gonna, let's be honest. You can give people the greatest toys in the world. Attrition is a thing. Attrition is a thing. It's you can't fight it. No matter what industry, everything online, there's always attrition. So I truly believe that the diehards, the ones that get it, that understand the potential here, once things like ad revenue, a mute button, all these things that have been promised, once these come out, even the rebrand, once these come out, I think you see a lot more people sticking around then. Personally.
Yeah, but then look back at the history and look at the UI refresh, look at some of the things that came out. You're right. Attrition is online. And I've asked this and nobody has the answer because it's hard to get the answer. But is Hive's attrition any worse than a lot of other things out there? And we all heard of the great, the next big, Steam killer or the next Ethereum, the next killer. And they get hot for a while, then they go to shit. And look at Threads on Facebook. I mean, it's down. It had like 70 million downloads the first like week or something, or 3 days or whatever it was. There's no way 70 million people are using that. I mean, most people used it once, like you did, and were disappointed. So I agree with you about the ad revenue, because the ad revenue takes it to a different level. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, well, you can go on Twitter, and if you have 5 million page views or tweet views in whatever the time period is, then you get a little bit of money. But if you're on Threads or if you're on Leo and you get one page view and it pays 0.001 Leo, you get that paid out. Again, I keep stressing micro earning, and some people are going to listen to me about micro earning. Other people are not going to listen to me. But 5 years ago, I wrote an article and I said, people are going to be earning dozens of tokens in a month. Now, this was before Hive Engine, and I was right. I earn dozens of different tokens in a month. I don't know what most of them are, to be honest with you. A lot of them are LOL and beer and cupcakes, and who knows what people have created. And it's cool. I mean, it's not that all these are going to be successful, but there's dozens of tokens in my Hive Engine wallet. And other than, a select few, I don't even know what any of this stuff is. That's going to get into 100, within a few years. And if Starkers and Dan pull this thing out in the next 6 months and have communities able to spin up their tokens quickly and inexpensively, within a year after that, it's going to be 100 tokens that you're going to be getting, because people are going to be giving you tokens for all kinds of stuff. Now, again, I'm not saying hundreds of tokens are going to have a lot of value. And I'm not saying that everything's created for a lot of value, because the LOL token, is that created for value? No, it's kind of fun and people give it out, and the beer token, and, that's part of the process. So, I think when you start to break it down and you start to look at the serious opportunities here, and I think ad revenue takes things to a different level, where it's like, okay, I earned, and again, it doesn't matter, but I got one Leo because of clicks on, some article I wrote whenever in the past. That's one Leo for doing nothing. What's going to happen if you do twice as many articles over next year as you did last year? What happens if you take your articles and you put them out on Twitter or Facebook or Reddit? What happens if you start to promote some of your articles? What happens if, and again, I don't know how it's going to be designed, but my sense is there is going to be a portion of the ad revenue that goes to Leo Power holders. So it's based on equity or, stake. A portion of the ad revenue goes to the actual content creators whose content was clicked on, articles and stuff like that. And then a portion of it will be through this NFT system. And maybe I'm confusing them and combining them. And if I am, I apologize. But where this reflects on activity, so you get this NFT, which then maybe entitles you to some ad revenue. Now, I don't know if that's part of the process. That's what I would push for. And once more news comes out, I'm going to push for that. And if it's not, and there's blowback, I'll fight that as much as I can. And I think that's a great way to really give a well-rounded approach where not everybody has Leo Power holder or has the resources to get Leo Power, especially if they're new, but they have the ability to engage. They have the ability to do activity. And so I think if you get that, now all of a sudden it's like, well, why should I come over to Leo instead of being on X or instead of on Facebook? And it's like, because you can seriously earn here. And then it's like, oh, the downvote war. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, nobody upvotes my stuff. Who cares? I write Pulitzer Prize winning stuff. Big deal. You miss social part of social media. You got the media down, but you have no following. It's just, again, we have that same mindset, John, and it's just foolish. I mean, if I open up an account on you, well, I have a Google account. If I go start posting videos on YouTube, you think anybody's going to follow me? Now, maybe I could leverage some of my Web3, and maybe could leverage some of my Twitter follow. But if I don't say anything and I just put up videos on YouTube, where do you think I'll be in a year? Maybe if I'm lucky, I might have 100 followers. If I'm very lucky, 50. I mean, I mean, even now, I don't even know what I got on Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter, but most of my Twitter following is only because of Hive. I don't have hardly any outside of that. So, it's not easy to build this stuff. And as we've always said, you're better off building on Hive because the numbers are in your favor. Go try to be found on Twitter. Go try to be found on YouTube. Go try to be found on Instagram. Unless you're a celebrity with a big following, it's not going to happen. And so this is an opportunity for people who have the foresight. And again, I know people say, oh, we've heard about ads for 2 years. Big freaking deal. So what? We heard about Threads, it's called Project Blank for over 2 years. Guess what? It's here now. Okay, it took a long time to develop, but it's here. And ad revenue will be here at some point. I don't know when. It might be announced at HiveFest, and they may say it's going live tomorrow. They may not mention it at HiveFest, and it may be 2 months after. I have no idea. But when that happens, people are going to regret not preparing.
Yep. Dude, what a show. You want the good news or the bad news?
I don't care. It's all good news.
It's all good news. 102 comments on the Threadcast.
That's good.
Which means that's a record. So you guys showed up.
I think in the Threadcast on Thursday, I'll just put, instead of Crypto Maniacs, I'll put, here's the Threadcast for the AMA.
AMA, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's the way. And there's no bad news. It's only good news. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for checking us out, supporting us. Episode 251 in the books. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Toodles.